లోకోద్ధారక క్రీస్తు దేవా లోకోద్ధారక క్రీస్తు దేవా చక్కగా దాసుల బ్రోచి రక్షించుము చక్కగా దాసుల బ్రోచి రక్షించుము యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ అగ్ని మీద నడచిన దేవా అగ్ని మీద నడచిన దేవా 5 రొట్టెల 5 వేలకు 5 రొట్టెల 5 వేలకు నతిశయముగను పంచిన దేవా నతిశయముగను పంచిన దేవా యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ కానాలోని వివాహ విందున కానాలోని వివాహ విందున నీళ్లను ద్రాక్ష రసముగా మార్చిన నీళ్లను ద్రాక్ష రసముగా మార్చి ఆగని నన్ను ప్రేమించు నిత్యం కరుణనిధి నన్ను ప్రేమించు నిత్యం యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ నాదానాదు గతియో నీవే నాదానాదు గతియో నీవే పాదరవింద శరణమేమో పాదరవింద శరణమేమో ఆధార నీవే దినోపకార ఆధార నీవే దినోపకార యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ కృపా సముద్ర దయామయుండ కృపా సముద్ర దయామయుండ కలను ముండ మకుటాధారివై కలను ముండ మకుటాధారివై సిలువాయందు మరణించితివి సిలువాయందు మరణించితివి యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ నీదు రాజ్యము వచ్చునుగాక నీదు రాజ్యము వచ్చునుగాక సాధుగ మోక్ష సౌఖ్యము చేరా సాధుగ మోక్ష సౌఖ్యము చేరా నీదు దాసులకు ఆశీర్వదించు నీదు దాసులను ఆశీర్వదించు యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ యేసునాథ త్రిలోకనాథ. Okay, for our family prayer, we shall turn to the scriptures to book of Genesis, chapter 12. We'll read first 3 verses. Book of Genesis, chapter 12, reading from 1 to 3. Now the Lord had said unto Abraham, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. May the Lord bless the reading of this portion. We have seen some of the characters of Abraham. And now we are looking into the call of Abraham. Lord, in his theocratic call, made a covenant with Abraham, and in which he has blessed with sevenfold blessings. This is the first of unconditional covenant we see. Abraham has to do nothing, only God has made a covenant with him. In this covenant, we see 7 important things. First is second verse, first part, and I will make of thee a great nation, for which we have seen the fulfillment in threefold way: natural posterity, spiritual posterity, and also fulfilling it through Ishmael and Esau. Then, second portion of second verse, I will bless thee. Yesterday we saw that how God has blessed Abraham and his son Isaac and his son Jacob and then children of Israel, how God has blessed. Now coming further, altogether there are 7 things in this promise. First one is, I will, as we saw, I will make of thee a great nation. And the second one is, I will bless thee. This also we saw in twofold way: temporarily upon this earth and spiritually in the heaven. And third one, make thy name great. We'll come to it later. And fourth one, thou shalt be a blessing. And in third verse, that is fifth one, I will bless them that bless thee. And sixth one, I will curse them that curseth thee. And seventh one and last one is, in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So sevenfold way, God has made a covenant with Abraham. So coming to the our portion now, yesterday we saw, I will bless thee. Second promise, in which God has fulfilled it in twofold way, that is temporal and spiritual. Now let us go further. And make thy name great. God had made Abraham a great person. We can see that throughout the Bible and even in the world also. Abraham's name is well known to the world, though they are Jews or Gentiles, known the Lord or not known the Lord. Everyone is very much aware of Abraham and his sacrifice and all his deeds. So when God blesses, he blesses abundantly. If you have that faith in him, and if you and I are very close to him, definitely God is going to meet us. Chapter 23 of Genesis and verse 5. Genesis chapter 23 and verse 5. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my Lord, thou art a mighty prince among us. So, when God blesses, the world also recognizes it. Here we see children of Heth. When Abraham asked them a piece of land to bury his wife, they are telling to Abraham, hear us, my Lord, thou art a mighty prince among us. So, though Abraham is not the owner of that land, though he is not living, residing there, just for a short moment, he is only a sojourner there. He is still on the way, which the Lord is showing him. But yet, the people over there, they have recognized that Abraham is a mighty prince. When the Lord blesses us, he will bless in that way. 21st chapter, same Genesis, 21st chapter, and verse 23 and 24. 21st chapter, 23 and 24. Now, therefore, swear unto me, hear my God, that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me, and the land wherein thou hast sojourned. So here, Abraham has gone to this Philistines, Abimelech. There he is telling, in 23rd verse, again I am telling, now therefore swear unto me, hear my God, that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son. Who want to have a covenant with whom? And 22nd verse, if you see, and it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and Phicol, the chief captain of his host, spoke unto Abraham, saying, God is with thee in all that thou doest. The heathen people recognized that the Lord is with Abraham. If you and I keep his commandments, do whatever Lord says, it is not that God will bless you, establish you. Not only that, but he will give you a recognition in the land also where you are living. So here we see Abimelech and Phicol, they are coming to Abraham to make a covenant. This is a strange thing. Generally, people of this world will go to a king to request to do them some favor. But here the case is reverse. The king and his chief captain both are coming to Abraham, and what they are addressing him, first they acknowledge in the last portion of 22nd verse, God is with thee in all that thou doest. The people of this world will recognize if you are with the Lord continuously. And 23rd verse, now therefore swear unto me, hear my God, that thou wilt not deal falsely with me. They are addressing Abraham as God. So what an honor God has given. How he is fulfilling the promise he is making. He is telling in second verse, third promise we are seeing, and make thy name great. Here, in a heathen land, heathen kingdom, Abraham's name has become very great. Because of that, the king of that land and chief captain of that land came to Abraham to make affinity, to make a covenant with Abraham. And the other thing is, they are addressing Abraham as God. Once again, I'll read that portion and then we'll move further. Now, therefore, 21st chapter, 23rd verse. Now, therefore, swear unto me, hear by God, that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son. And according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me, and to the land wherein thou hast sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear. So it was very typical thing, actually, on the reverse side of it. Actually, Abraham should go to the king and swear something and ask his king some help, and whatever he wants, he should approach the king. But instead, God has made Abraham a great man. That's why the king himself coming to Abraham to swear, to do something favor for them, because they saw that God was with Abraham. 24th chapter, Genesis chapter 24 and verse 35. And the Lord hath blessed my master greatly, and he is become great. And he hath given him flocks and herds and silver and gold, and men servants, maid servants, camels and asses. So here also we see the servant of Abraham. He is telling about Abraham what the Lord has done to his master. He's not telling my master has become very great. Abraham taught them how to acknowledge the Lord in everything. So here we see the servant, he is exalting his master. At the same time, he is exalting master because of the Lord, not because of his master. So, and the Lord said, "My Lord hath blessed my master greatly," because God has made a covenant with Abraham. I will make thee great, make thy name great. So we are seeing the fulfillment now. Lord blessed my master greatly, and he is become great. He is become great. The servant is acknowledging, and he is disclosing this fact to his relatives at Laban's place, Padanaram. Genesis chapter 26 now. Genesis chapter 26, verse 12 and 13. Genesis chapter 26, verse 12 and 13. Then Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year an hundredfold. And the Lord blessed him, and the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great. Not only God blessed Abraham, because of the covenant, he blessed his son Isaac also. In 26th chapter, we see regarding Isaac. So here, Isaac, he sowed in the land in 12th verse and received in the same year hundredfold. What an abundance. When God loves us, when God wants to give it us, no man in this world can get it. They have abundance in hundredfold. And also, and the Lord blessed him. In 13th verse we say, and the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great. So we see the fulfillment of the covenant with Abraham, even in the life of Isaac also. So if you and me are following the Lord wholeheartedly, surely the Lord will help us, the Lord will establish us, the Lord will make your name and my name very great in this world itself. Even heathen people, they will acknowledge. 28th chapter. Same chapter, 28 verse. 28 verse 2, and we'll see. And they said, we saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, let there be now an oath betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee. Here again, Abimelech, the son of Abraham, when he was living in Abimelech's place, I, Abimelech's place, Abimelech himself recognizes again the same thing as he recognized with Abraham. Again, he says, 28th verse, Abimelech comes, this 26th verse. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzah, one of his friends, and Phicol, the chief captain of his army. Then he says in 28th verse, and they said, those three people, they said, we saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. So the heathen people will recognize if you are steadfast in the Lord. And then they say, when we said, let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee. Here also we see the same thing as they made an oath, or as they swear between Abraham and Abimelech. Abimelech is swearing the same thing, making the covenant with his son Isaac also. So when the Lord starts you making you great, your name great, it will be extolled in a very high way. We see the same thing in the descendants of Abraham also. Come to Genesis chapter 41. Genesis chapter 41 and verse 40. Genesis chapter 41 and verse 40. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than you. Here, Egypt king Pharaoh is acknowledging that the Lord is with Joseph. He is descendant of Abraham, great grandson of Abraham. And he says, thou shalt be over my house. After all, Joseph is a bondman, bond servant. He was purchased with silver. And those people who were brought with silver were used only to do menial jobs. But here we see Pharaoh is exalting Joseph in a very high state. He was the third ruler of the country. Here again we see the same thing, 40th verse. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than you. Only in the throne I will be greater than you. But everything you have to rule. So what a greatness Joseph got there. He was only a prisoner there. Before that, he was brought with price and was kept in Potiphar's house. And whatever Lord is doing, whatever Joseph is doing, Lord is blessing that. We see that in 39th chapter of Genesis. And now, because of false accusation, Joseph was put into prison. And now he was brought out of the prison, and Pharaoh made him third ruler. Third ruler means first king is the first one, and the second place comes to queen. So after these two, Joseph is ruling the country there. Pharaoh himself gave everything into Joseph's hand. I am only for the namesake a king. I will be just sitting on the throne. Everything you have to rule. He is not making Joseph in charge only over fig grains. He is not making Joseph as in charge only on certain things. He has made Joseph ruler over his country. What an honor God has given to him. See. Exodus chapter 11. Exodus chapter 11, verse 3. Now the children of Israel have waxed great. They have become a very big multitude. They went from strength to strength. Now they were oppressed in the land of Egypt. And then Lord sent Moses as Redeemer to bring them out of bondage. Now, after certain things happened in the lives of Egyptians, they acknowledge that the Lord of Israel is a very great God. Now we see in 11th chapter, 3rd verse. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sights of Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants and in the sight of the people. So, how accurately and minutely Lord is fulfilling the covenant he made with Abraham. He said, and make thy name great. Here, he made Abraham's name very great and his son Isaac's name very great. And also, we saw that Joseph's name was very great. The Lord made Joseph's name very great. Now we see Lord made Moses. He chose Moses to redeem the people of Israel from the bondage of sin to Egypt. And now, after certain incidents occurred there, the name of Moses has become very great now. When we love the Lord, when we follow the Lord will make you great. If you and I strive to be great, we may be doing with the help of people, henchmen, to some extent. But after that, something happens to them in between you and them, and they will start doing wicked thing against you, bad propaganda against you. So if you allow Lord to work in you, Lord will make you a great person. Here we see later portion of 3rd verse. The man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt. Entire Egypt, they are trembling at Moses now. Once Pharaoh, he belittled him. He looked very down upon him. But now things have changed. Pharaoh himself, he started getting information from Moses. He is asking them to often come to him and pray also. And he is acknowledging that I have sinned. Let it not continue. From next time onwards, I will be very faithful to you. Several times, Pharaoh himself is telling, but Moses is not telling. That much, Moses was a great person in Egypt, even in an alien land, in a heathen land, where Moses himself was a born man. Even then, God has made him very great. And in the second portion, third portion, we see later portion, very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, in the sight of the people also. Not only Pharaoh's servants, in entire Egypt, Moses has become very great. 2 Samuel chapter 7. 2 Samuel chapter 7. Verse 9. And I was with thee whithersoever thou wentest, and have cut off all thy enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name, like unto the name of great men that are in the earth. So Lord himself is telling to David. Again I am reading. And I was with thee whithersoever thou wentest. That means at times David, without inquiring from the Lord, he went in his way. But the Lord is telling him, I was with thee whithersoever thou wentest. Even though you inquired me and went, or without inquiry we went, I was with thee. Then he says, and have cut off all the enemies out of thy sight. It is not you. You may be a mighty man of valor, that's a different thing. But I, who have given you victory over the people, over the enemies. So if God is with us, there cannot be any enemy to you. Third one, and have made thee a great name. By now, David's name has become very great, not only in the land of Israel, but also in the surrounding areas, surrounding nations. David's name has become very great, like unto the name of the great men that are in the earth. As very great men in the earth will have a name, Lord has made David also that much bigger one, that much greatest name David had in his times. So this all happened because David was totally committed to the Lord. David is totally for the Lord. David's heart and God's heart both are joined together, as we see in Acts 13:22, familiar word. So, because of that, God has made David's name very great, even in the children of Israel or among other nations also. So, if you and I keep this in mind, definitely God is going to make our name very great. 2 Samuel chapter 5. 2 Samuel chapter 5. We see the same thing here also. And verse 10. 2 Samuel chapter 5 and verse 10. And David went on and grew great, and the Lord God of hosts was with him. Why did David grew great? Why did David's name has become very great? The reason behind is written over there. Because the Lord of hosts was with him. You and I should have this in our mind. You should have your Lord with you always. Then you will be very great. Because entire world belongs to God. He rules. Even though we think that he is ruling and that person is ruling, even though you are elevated, you may think I am ruling. But in spite of everything, above all, God is ruling the earth. If you have that God with you, definitely he will exalt you in his time. Here we see the fulfillment in David's life. David went on and grew great, and the Lord God of hosts was with him. So this is the confirmation we see the covenant God made with Abraham. We also see in David's son's life also. 1 Kings chapter 3. 1 Kings chapter 3 verse 13. 1 Kings chapter 3 verse 13. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all the days. When Lord asked Solomon to choose whatever he wants, because everything belongs to Lord, he can give anything to Solomon, if at all Solomon has asked. The same thing if the Lord asks you and me, we may not ask these things as Solomon asked, but instead we ask riches and great name and honor in this world and a big person in this world. But instead Solomon asked Lord to give wisdom to choose between good and evil. And now Lord is assuring Solomon that I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all the days. So this is how the Lord makes us great. He will exalt us in such a way that no man in this world can be of equivalent to us. Same 1 Kings chapter 4, 29th verse. And God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding, exceeding much, and largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. Solomon has such a wisdom, exceeding abundantly, exceeding much, And he is having such an understanding that no one in this world, either before him or after him, are like Solomon's wisdom. And 30th verse, and Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country and all the wisdom of Egypt. So, see how the fulfillment of the covenant God made with Abraham in the descendants' life. Here we see Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the East. Generally, from East, the knowledge comes. It is the proverb there. That's why when the Lord was born in this world, in Matthew 2nd chapter, we see the, the people from East, they came to the Lord to worship Him. So people of East are having more knowledge than of the West. That's the proverb there. Now we see for the 31st verse. And he was wiser than all men, than Ethan, the Ezrahite, and Heman, and Chalcol, and Dada, the sons of Mahol, and his fame was in all nations round about. Solomon's fame was, he has went all over the globe almost. Many from far countries, they used to come to Solomon's to hear his wisdom, how he deals with a situation. They wanted to see and came from far off places. Even Queen Sheba also we see how she came with a train, and how she thought she will win over Solomon, but finally acknowledged that even one tenth also was not told about you. So when God blesses us, He will bless us in the such way. Same First Kings chapter 10. First Kings chapter 10 and verse 23. So King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom. Now very clearly it is mentioned here, King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth now. That means you can take any king in this earth, he cannot be equal with Solomon. Leave about exceeding Solomon, he cannot be leveled with Solomon also. Any king in this world, Lord has given him such a knowledge and such an honor. So the king Solomon exceeded all kings of all the earth for riches and for wisdom. Because of that, God's name is glorified. Lord chooses you and me and blesses us, and finally He makes us very great name, so that the Lord's name should be glorified through us. Finally, we see First Chronicles chapter 29. First Chronicles chapter 29, verse 25. And the Lord magnified Solomon exceedingly in the sight of all Israel, and bestowed upon him such royal majesty as had not been on any king before him in Israel. So we see how God has exalted Solomon exceedingly in the sight of all Israel. And he is such a royal majesty, there is no other king in Israel as Solomon. So if you and me also were close to the Lord, following the Lord wholeheartedly, keeping his statutes, his law, his judgments, his oracles, definitely Lord will bless you and make your name great as Lord made the name of Abraham great. Finally, we see that fragment and close. Genesis chapter 12, verse 2, the third part, the third promise. And make thy name great. And throughout the Bible, we see Abraham's name is mentioned. Abraham's name is very great. Not only him, his sons, even descendants. Even now we see The name of Israel is so great in the world. A small country, and where they are having no proper amenities. Only sand they were provided with. But out of sand, they made richness. Once they used to borrow or mm, get everything from the other nations, other countries. Now they are in a position to supply vegetables to the entire world, if at all you want. They are in such a position now. They are having such a wisdom that no other persons in this world are having. And everything is exceeding very great. God has blessed them with such a blessing because He promised with Abraham. He made a covenant with Abraham. God has restored the descendants and kept these descendants in this world even today before our eyes. Not only that, even in our eyes, at this so many thousands of years have passed, yet Israel's name is very great even in this day. Though they may be small nation, but they are very great. The Lord wants to bless you in such a way. May the Lord bless us. మా ప్రేమ నమ్మగల పరలోకపు తండ్రి, కృపా కనికరము కలిగిన మా గొప్ప దేవ, అద్భుతములు ఆశ్చర్యకారములు చేయవాడా, మీ ఘనమైన మహోన్నతంగా హెచ్చించబడిన పూజనీయమైన నామమునకు వందనములు స్తోత్రములు చెల్లించుకుంటున్నాం. ప్రభా, నీ నామమును గొప్ప చేయుదును అని అబ్రహాంతో మీరు చేసిన నిబంధన, ప్రభా, ఏ రీతిగా దాన్ని మీరు నెరవేర్చారో, ముందుగా ఏ రీతిగా కన్ఫర్మ్ చేశారో తన జీవితంలోనూ, ప్రభా తన కుమారుడైన ఇస్సాకు జీవితంలోనూ చూసాం. అన్య రాజులు దాన్ని గుర్తించారు. దేవుడు నీకు తోడై ఉన్నాడు అన్న సంగతిని వారు గుర్తించారు. అబ్రహాము రాజు దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి నిబంధన చేయటం కాదు, కానీ రాజే అబ్రహాం దగ్గరకు వచ్చి నిబంధన చేస్తున్నాడు. అదే అతని కుమారుని జీవిత ఇస్సాకులో కూడా రాజు అయిన అబీమెలెకు చూశాడు, దేవుడు ఇస్సాకును ఆశీర్వదించాడని. కనుక ఇస్సాకుతో నిబంధన చేయడానికి వచ్చినాడు. ప్రభా, మీరు గొప్ప చేస్తే, మీరు నామమును గొప్ప చేస్తే ఎంత ఉన్నతమైన రీతిగా గొప్ప చేస్తారో మీ యొక్క వలాకరముల ద్వారా చూపించారు. యోసేపును గొప్ప చేశారు. ఒక బానిసను, ఒక ఖైదీని ప్రభా హెచ్చించి ఆ యొక్క దేశంలోనే ప్రధానిగా చేసి ఉన్నారు. దేశాన్ని పరిపాలించేవానిగా చేసి ఉన్నారు. ప్రభు, ఇశ్రాయేలు ప్రజలను, మోషేని ఏ రీతిగా గొప్ప చేశారో చూసాం. రాజు అయిన దావీదుని ఎలా గొప్ప చేశారో చూసాం. సొలొమోనును ఏ రీతిగా గొప్ప చేశారో చూసాం. భూమి మీద ఏ రాజు కూడా సొలొమోనుతో సరితూగలవాడు లేడు అని మీరు ఖచ్చితంగా చెప్పగలిగారు. ప్రభు, మేము కూడా మీకు లోబడి ఉంటే, మీ యొక్క ధర్మశాస్త్రాన్ని, మీ యొక్క ఆజ్ఞలను, మీ యొక్క వాక్యాన్ని మేము గైకొని మా జీవితంలో పాటించినట్లయితే మా పేరు కూడా, మా నామాన్ని కూడా మీరు గొప్ప చేస్తారని చెప్పారు. ఈ లోకంలో గుర్తింపు లేని వారం కావచ్చు, అయితే మీరు గొప్ప చేయటం మొదలుపెట్టినప్పుడు ప్రభా అదే లోకము యెహోవా వీరికి తోడుగా ఉన్నాడని గుర్తిస్తుంది. అటువంటి జీవితాన్ని మాకు దయచేయమని ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాను. మేము కేవలం వినివారం మాత్రంగా ఉండి ప్రభు పట్టించుకోకుండా ఉండకుండా వాక్య ప్రకారం ప్రవర్తించటకు యాకోబు 1:22 ప్రకారం మాకు సహాయం చేయమని ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాం. ప్రత్యేకించి ఈ సమయంలో అప్పారావం కొరకు ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాం, అలాగే ఆంటీ కొరకు ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాం. ప్రభు కరోనా ప్రభు పాజిటివ్తో ప్రభు ఉంటుండగా కనికరించి కృపను చూపించవలసిందిగా వేడుకొచ్చున్నాం. ప్రత్యేకించి మీ సహాయం మెండుగా దయచేసి ప్రభు కుమ్మరించి ప్రభు మీ కృపను చూపించమని ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాం. తీసుకున్న ట్రీట్మెంట్ లో సహాయం చేయండి, ప్రభు ఇమ్యూనిటీ పవర్ పెంచండి, కృపను చూపించమని ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాం. ప్రభు దూరం ఉన్న ప్రియులంటే వారిని జ్ఞాపకం చేసుకొచ్చున్నాం. అంకులు ఆంటీ కొరకు ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాం. ప్రభు జూమ్ యాప్ సాధ్యమైన త్వరలో రెస్టోర్ అవ్వడానికి సహాయపడండి. విజ్జి జ్ఞాపకం చేసుకొచ్చున్నాం. ప్రభు అలాగే యుఎస్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి బుజ్జి వాళ్ళ కుటుంబాన్ని, బెంగళూరులో ఉన్న బాబ్జీ వాళ్ళ కుటుంబాన్ని, శరీరాన్ని జ్ఞాపకం చేసుకుంటున్నాం. ప్రభు ఇలా తండ్రి, మేము మీ యొక్క ప్రభా కుటుంబం వారండి ప్రభా ఉదయకాలన ఈ రీతిగా కుటుంబం ప్రార్థన కొరకు ఎక్కడెక్కడ చెదిరినప్పటికీ చేరగలటకు ఇచ్చిన కృపను బట్టి ఉందని తెలుస్తున్నా. డాడీని కూడా మీ చేతులకు అర్పిస్తున్నా. ప్రభా మీరే సహాయం చేయండి. ప్రభా హాలోజినేషన్స్ నుంచి సంపూర్తిగా బయటపడడానికి కృపను చూపించమని ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాం. మీకే మహిమ ఘనత స్తుతి ప్రభావాలు ఆరోపించుకొంచు ఈ దినవంతుల కొరకే మమ్మల్ని సిద్ధపరచమని యేసు క్రీస్తు వారి పరిశుద్ధ నామములో ప్రార్థించి వేడుకొనుచున్నాం తండ్రి.